Hey, fellow travelers and viewers. Welcome to your reading. What we have here is 6 cards. There's 2 for each pile. One will be revealed right now for each pile, and the other 3 will be revealed at the end of each reading. We also have chosen 3 crystals to correspond to the 3 piles, so you can choose your reading based on how you resonate with the crystals, and then you have a second opportunity after the cards are revealed. For the first reading, we have the Malachite crystal. Ooh, let me fix the camera there. We have a Malachite crystal. There we go. That's better. For the second reading, we have Blue Aventurine. You can see the blue. It's deep blue. And for the third reading, we have this pink swirling glass. If you know what kind of crystal this is, or if it is a crystal, let us know in the comments. It might be glass, but it's got a beautiful pink swirl to it. Okay, so now that we've seen the crystals, we can reveal the cards. For reading number 1, we have the World. By the way, these are animated cards, I forgot to mention. I'm really excited about these. We have the World. You can see the swirling ribbon around the woman. I should have mentioned that in the beginning. We have these animated cards. I really like them. For reading number 2, we have the Ace of Chalices, the Ace of Cups. See the dove. And for reading number 3, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Well, that's a cool one. Okay. Look at that. Okay. So, those are the 3 readings. I'll give you a moment to choose based on how you resonate with the cards. You know, the World is like the end of a major cycle. An entire story has been seen, and we now have come to a full circle where we're coming back around to the beginning again. A very triumphant moment in many ways. For the Ace of Chalices, we have a new emotional beginning. There's a new emotional beginning here for the Ace of Chalices. And for the Wheel of Fortune, we have the reminder that, with the ebbs and flows of the day-to-day life, it's often the best thing to do is to be grounded and centered so that no matter where the winds blow, you are grounded. Okay. So, with that being said, I'll give you a moment to choose. Also, please keep in mind that this is a broad reading, so if you feel a strong connection to any theme or idea during the reading, bring it along with you on your journey, and if not, let it float on by. Okay, let's begin now with reading number 1. Hi, pile number 1, reading number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the World. We're going to take another look at this animation here. You chose the World card, alongside the Malachite crystal, and the hidden card that we will see at the end of the reading. Okay, so let's begin. Now remember, this is a broad reading. I was originally going to make a theme for this reading about your spirit guide's message for you, but then I didn't when we started the pick a card. I didn't mention it, so I feel like this is just going to be more of a broad reading. Okay. Oh, we got 3. Perfect. More of a broad reading today. So, we are starting from the left and moving to the right. I used to go top to bottom or bottom to top, but right now we're going to be going kind of in timeline order, starting in the past and moving towards the future. So let's take a look. You were feeling in the past, kind of tired, defeated in some ways, but also emotionally, you were just done. You were spent. There was something about it, the past, what happened in the past that just lets you were spent. What was on the mind at this moment? Because we have the Ten of Swords in the feeling position, the feelings, the thoughts. You were manifesting a lot though. You were dreaming about manifesting a lot. You were dreaming about creating a world for yourself, but you were tired. You were tired. You'd put in a lot of effort in the past and you emotionally were spent. All of your emotions that you had gone through had been played out. We say this because, normally with the Ten of Swords, it would be more of an idea. An idea is ended. This idea has gone all the way to the edge and it's taken all of its criticisms, all the different angles of knocking it down have taken its toll. And the idea just isn't working out. It's an opportunity. It's a time for a new idea. It's a time to seek new ideas and to bring new ideas or be accepting of new concepts, new styles or techniques that could potentially be the next step. Because this has gone through the full cycle. It's gone through everything it can. It's accomplished what it could, and now it's done. And because it's a swords, it's about ideas. It's a rather big, scary card, right? But it's actually more about ideas because we're dealing with swords. Decisions to be made or, concepts that work for you, kind of ideologies. This is an end of an ideological era for you. But it's not in the mind position or the spirit position. It's in the heart position, the within position. So this is more of an emotional ending. An ending of an emotional journey. So you're spent, you're tired. And now we have the Magician in the mind. So you really can figure out back in this past position, we have a moment where you're able to kind of see step by step what you need to do to accomplish your goals. You're tired though, but you can see it, you can imagine it, you can envision what it is that you want. The Magician is the master manifester. She has all three of the elements here. She has the pentacles, she has the cup. There should be a wand somewhere here in the original. Let's actually look at that. Let me see if I can find that for a second. One moment. Here we go. Okay. So in a more traditional style of the deck, you can see the Magician has the wand, the cup, the pentacle, and the sword. All of the four. So every element needed to accomplish their goal. That's a special aspect of the Magician. All four. So in that case, you had everything you needed in your mind. You understood every step by step what you needed to do. But emotionally, you didn't quite have all of the energy you needed. What were you doing in this moment? You were thinking about what to do. So you had the feeling like you knew what you wanted, but you were still surveying. You were still figuring out how to do this step by step. You knew what the steps needed to be taken, but you didn't really know where to put the steps, how to implement them, maybe you knew the skills you needed to have, well, you had the skills you needed, but you didn't know where to implement them. This is interesting. This is like a dichotomy. We're opposing forces here. There's opposing forces here. There's a sense that you were taking action, more so you were just surveying where to go next. Meanwhile, you had all in your mind, you knew you had all the steps you needed to take, but you weren't sure which direction to go with it. That might be more what's going on here. The visualization of you had the vision of what you want, but where to go with that vision was what was uncertain. And you needed to make a choice, so you were surveying where you wanted to go. But you were emotionally tired because there was an ending, an emotional ending, a really dramatic one. Okay. The Two of Wands. Perhaps it was that you were uncertain about yourself. Perhaps intellectually or in your mind you knew you had everything you needed, but your heart was so tired. You were so tired. You didn't know if you could keep going on. The figure here, he's kind of just on the tower looking over. He's not sure where he's going. He's not sure if he's going to go. There's a choice to be made here. Do you stay or do you go? Do you move forward or do you wait? Do you rest? Rest might be important here. Okay. A lot of cards want to come out. Let's just see what this is. So this was meticulous working on refining an idea. We have the Eight of Pentacles that just revealed itself. Okay. Just wanted to be seen. Okay. So, while you felt in the past had everything you needed to manifest your goals, you did begin to see some growth in that path. Perhaps you were not sure what you needed, but now you were starting to develop those skills or implementing those skills because we see some growth here. There's the Seven of Pentacles. So you have someone growing their idea. Perhaps you knew you had all the pieces, but you just didn't know how to put them together. Maybe that's it. Because there's this uncertainty. You would normally see a magician, you'd think confidence, you'd think capability, but because we're tired and we have this choice to be made, this two, the Two of Wands, there is something kind of holding you back from having the full potential of the situation. In your heart, you felt growth. Okay, so look at this. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. A lot of growing here. So maybe you were resting and allowing time to pass and just doing what needed to be done and growing yourself. What were you doing? Let's see. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups. So we have the Queen of Cups with two different pentacle cards. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. We have a lot of growth on the mind, okay? We have a lot of growth in the heart, and a lot of accomplished goals in the heart. We have the Queen of Cups here. So you were intuitively knowing what to do. You were moving forward with your intuition, and you were going with the flow, really, because this was a situation that, was tired. So it was kind of like a letting go moment and just allowing time to pass, allowing things to be accomplished in their own time. We really see something that you were seeing some real positive results from this. I would say almost like a vacation. You might have been taking a vacation, or you might have been tricking yourself that you weren't taking a vacation, but you were. Either way, you were absolutely taking a break from something, and you were allowing time to pass, and you were allowing yourself to heal, because we have these growing cards. We have, the fruit on the vine, and here the Seven of Pentacles, we have the farmer who's really watching and figuring out where or how things should be watered, how things should be planted in the right light. The seven is more like still figuring some things out, but is really one of allowing things to grow in their time, not forcing things to move forward too quickly, taking your time with it. And then you have the Queen of Cups. So you're nurturing your emotional well-being, because the Queen of Cups can nurture emotional well-being and intuitively knows when someone needs something and when someone needs space, when someone needs a shoulder to cry on, when someone needs words of wisdom. That's the Queen of Cups. So you were doing that to yourself, but you also were experiencing that. Someone else might have been there for you and was helping you along the way, but you were intuitively finding those opportunities for rest. I'm not going to say this is necessarily healing, but it was definitely resting and allowing time to move past, allowing time to move forward. Oh, I hit the camera, sorry. Can you see all the cards? Let's make sure we got them all in frame. Okay. So where are you now? Where are we now? In the mind. New beginnings. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. The Fool. You've refreshed. You're refreshed now. You've spent some time, you've waited it out a little bit. You're beginning to have that energy again. You're ready or almost ready to go on an adventure because it's on your mind. The idea of starting anew is on your mind. The idea of going on an adventure is on your mind. Of experiencing something unique that you have not experienced before. You're thinking about it. You're starting afresh. In your heart, we have justice. So there's balance within you. You're making the right choices based on, excuse me, it might be more like you want to move forward, but you're also smart about when it is time to. You've been taking this resting period and you're moving on now towards an active period, but you still want to make sure that you're doing it on the right terms, in the right timing. So in your heart, you're balancing the intellectual knowledge and the emotional knowledge. You're balancing both rationality and intuition. And that means you're kind of waiting on when to do something next. And it's going to be based on both when you feel like you're ready and when you can actually, discuss with other people word for word why you're ready. Why are you ready? Well, here's why. You have all of these reasons. Your reasoning skills are very good right now, and you're doing it naturally. You know not to move too quickly, and you know when I don't know why there's so much movement. I guess it's the Fool card, but there's some kind of action that needs to be taken, but the time was not right yet. So let's see where you are right now. Well, you're the Sun. Okay. Well, this is fascinating. This is beautiful. You are really, this was a beautiful resting period for you. This was a very important resting period. I'm going to move the light just so we can get a little bit more color on this sun. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, the sun's shining on you. I just wanted that sun to have a little bit more color. The sun is shining. You are warmth, you're glowing and you're growing that warmth within you. These are good times. These are good times coming up. You might not feel like you have it yet, but this is within you. You have the warmth. It's kind of a reminder that you want to share the warmth with others. It's not just the warmth for you. Your warmth and your abundance that you have within you should grow and should be nurtured so that you can also share it with others. And you're going to. But this has been quite a healing period, or very much a resting period. A period where maybe you felt like you weren't getting much done, but actually a lot was happening for you. You were doing what you needed to do for yourself. And that's important. And now look at you. Look at this strong column. I have not seen a strong column like this in a while. In the mind, you have the Fool. In the heart, you have justice. And in you have the Sun. Wow, you're embodying the Sun. Group number 1, who are you? I love saying that. Who are you? What have you been doing? What kind of rest have you been taking? What kind of R&R, rest and relaxation, or I'm not sure if that's what it means, but what kind of actions do you take to rejuvenate or to refresh yourself? What are you doing to renew your energy? Because it's going to be working very soon if it hasn't already. What do you do to renew? Let us know in the comments. Okay. So, on the mind, we move from the Fool to the Knight of Cups. So some joy, some laughter. Just playing around a little bit, being able to really perform and entertain. There's a sense that you really can connect with people and go like, you can banter, you can go back and forth, you can laugh, you can just let go a little bit. In the heart, we have a little bit of paying attention to the details. We have the Knight of Pentacles, a little bit of a new knowledge on how to manage resources. So that's going to be, you're going to know how to manage your time and your emotional energy more because you had spent it so much in the past. And We have the Hangman. So we're still waiting a little bit. Yeah, you're not taking any quick steps here. Yeah, there's this you're spending time with friends. You might not be going on an adventure like going traveling around the world yet, but you're spending more time with friends, you're going out, you're seeing people. You're seeing people and you're being with people instead of just like talking online or talking on the phone. You're really going out to see them because we have this joy card here, this connection, but you're still managing yourself. You're monitoring yourself in some ways. You're kind of checking up on yourself. You must have been really emotionally drained in the past, group number one, because this was like such an important aspect of growth, of waiting for time to change, and then to bask in the light, but still to wait. You're still rejuvenating yourself. You're still restoring your energy. In the heart, we have Four of Cups. This Four of Cups is one of gratitude. So you're feeling grateful. You're feeling really grateful for the time that you were able to spend to relax and to regain energy, to refresh. In the mind, we have a little bit of uncertainty. So now you're not sure about what to do next, where to go next. But you are ready. You've gotten stronger. You are so much stronger now. You have the sun in you. And finally, you. What do we have with you? We have the Ace of Pentacles. So look at that. That's beautiful. So there's a new, refreshing, a new source of energy for you. A very new source of energy that within you and then without you, like from without. So in the outside world, you're finding ways to gain energy, and that could be resources like money, it could be time, it could be attention, but you might be meditating, so you can spend more time on attention, and you're not scrolling through your phone as much. There's different ways of looking at this, but basically it's one of resources: time, attention, energy, that kind of thing. And that's important because we were so emotionally spent in the past. So now we're finding energy from within and from without. We're still uncertain about where to go next, but that's okay. You had a really strong vision at first, but we've moved towards waiting a little bit and knowing that we have a refreshing new perspective that's going to allow us to go on a journey that doesn't necessarily have to be so energy intensive. Doesn't have to be such a grand journey right now, but this is a new journey in your mind where you're just spending more time with people, you're having better relationships, and you're working on gaining new forms of energy for yourself, new forms of resources. That's beautiful. And look at this calm right now. If this hasn't happened yet for you, just wait. I mean, spring is coming for many of us. I know not everyone is in the United States, but for those who are, spring is coming. And this is going to be beautiful for you. This moment is going to be one of real, anything's possible. But we're going to do it with smart. We're going to do it smart. We're not going to just leap in like directly physically, but we are going to take new ideas. We're going to think about new ideas and really jump into new ideologies, jump into new perspectives. And that's going to lead us to happiness, to real joy, to real, I want to say jovial. It's like an older word, but jovial, like just laughter and banter back and forth, kind of teasing, but also joking. Okay. And finally, we have the hidden card that should provide clarity onto what this whole journey is about. And it is the Chariot. Okay, so there might actually be some travel involved because we have the Chariot, we have movement, but we also have deliberate movement forward. It means just being confident in moving forward at the pace that's best for you. The Chariot doesn't always have to go fast, but it is moving forward with purpose. Beautiful. Okay. Group number one, this has been your reading. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment. And if you'd like, feel free to stay for reading number two, because each reading can oftentimes reflect a different aspect of life. Okay. With that being said, see you soon. Hey, group number two, welcome to your reading. You chose the Ace of Chalices. Let's take a look at the card. I really like these animated cards. The Ace of Cups, or the Ace of Chalices. All right, we also have the hidden card underneath that will be revealed at the end of the reading. And you also chose based on the Blue Aventurine, or perhaps based on the Blue Aventurine. All right, let's get started. We're going to be doing a left to right reading today, so from left to right, and that will start in the past, move to the present, and then into the future. So let's take a look. Okay. All right, great. So, what was in the heart? What were you feeling in the past? Let's take a look. You were feeling meditative. You were feeling gratitude. We have the Four of Cups. So, with the Four of Cups, oftentimes in more traditional tarot decks, the Four of Cups figure will be more disappointed, but in this deck, he's meditative, or they're meditative. They realize that they have to be patient and things will move along in good time. And they do, because the fourth cup comes in flying in from the side. They're not even aware that it's coming, but good fortune is on its way. And this was in the heart. So this was a feeling of gratitude, of patience. You were feeling at ease in many ways. Had to pause the video for a second. Sorry about that. So what we were talking about is that in the past, in your heart, in your soul, or like in your feelings, your emotional state of being, you were feeling at peace. At least you were feeling patient. You were feeling patient. In the mind, what was on the mind? New forms of energy. We had the Ace of Pentacles. So perhaps you were thinking about how to make money in a new way. Or you were thinking about how to save up your resources, your time, your effort, how you were trying to find new forms of energy, something that would reinvigorate you, something that would bring in a new spark of potential, of capability. The Ace of Pentacles, a fresh start to energy of resources. And it's interesting, you chose the Ace of Cups. So a fresh beginning, an emotional state of being. And here we have a fresh state of energy, of resources, of material resources, but it was on the mind. So you were thinking about this, thinking about new ways to make money, new ways to have extra time on your hands, or new ways to have extra attention focused in the right way. Could be you were saving time, you were not procrastinating as much, you were finding ways to essentially be more efficient. And you were being patient about it. More efficient, so this would be more for like career oriented. But it could also be you were spending time with the people you really wanted to spend time with. So this could be also a social environment, a social situation. And you were feeling proud because we have the Six of Wands. So we have the Six of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. That's a lot of positive energy in the past. You were feeling optimistic. There had been a triumph in the past. There had been a success in the past that allowed you to feel more at ease emotionally and thinking more forward thinking. You were forward thinking. You were thinking about new ways to bring forth wealth, prosperity for yourself. And it came from having truly accomplished something big. Perhaps you got into a school, perhaps you got a new job, perhaps you got a raise, perhaps you just finished a project that had been taking a lot of time and a lot of effort and you finally got that done. Something along those lines, because that's what happened here. So this is what's going to start the story here of what happens next. Something was accomplished. Something pretty significant was accomplished, in fact, because we have that Ace and the Six of Wands. I mean, this was something that was, something you put a lot of work into. Okay. So that was in the past, but what happened next? We have on the mind, a choice was proposed. So with this new success came options, came potentials. They're tough though, hard to distinguish. Like, what was the right choice? You can't really choose. You don't know. We don't know what the right choice is. We had this idea of how to do it, but we have to make a choice now. And we're being a little bit more stubborn in some ways. We're standing up for ourselves. Or we're feeling, well, yes, we are definitely feeling like you're feeling defensive in some way. For some reason, there's going to be something that maybe perhaps this choice that was given was kind of a pushback. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw something like Five of Swords in this situation, where you're getting feedback, you're getting some form of critique of what it was that you had accomplished. And that's making you have to choose a path. There's some kind of choice, but there's no easy solution here. There's no easy choice. It's not obvious. Yeah, perhaps you were getting feedback from someone who is an expert or someone who knew, had been in your path, had been on your path and had seen this before. Because we have the Six of Pentacles, which I often see as bestowing of knowledge. It's not necessarily bestowing of resources, but it could be. Or bestowing of money, but it could be money. But in this case, it's more so someone giving charity or giving charitable advice. Someone who's offering, words of wisdom. But you might not feel very, you might not want to accept this critique. You have a choice to make. Do you accept what someone's saying, this pushback on your triumph, or are you going to accept it and try to change something or tweak something, or are you going to stand your ground and say, no, this is the right path. This is what I want it to be. I want it to be like this. And that choice is yours right now. In the past, you had this choice to make, and it wasn't clear. Sometimes people have their opinions. Everybody has, some advice they can give, and it probably is amazing advice for them. And sometimes it's great advice for us, but we have to find a way to figure out, well, was this something that worked for them because of other factors? Were there other reasons that this advice worked for them? It wasn't just that it was good advice, but that it fit within their life. So that's something that needs to be thought through. Or is it something that really is generally good advice, something that broadly should be have a positive affect or a positive effect on your decision, like on your life? Is this just a generally universally good advice? That kind of determination is going to be difficult here. And you're going to feel a little defensive because sometimes you felt like, if you felt like you really were doing well, that this was a really good idea, that this idea that you have is something that you can move forward with. You accomplished so much. You're feeling inside really well, and now you're getting defensive because someone's saying that isn't as great as you think it is. But only you know fully, and we're going to have to figure this out through time, through experience, whether or not the advice that you're being given by someone else is actually the advice you need. So let's take a look and see where this goes. Also, let's take a moment. Because the Six of Pentacles also can be giving someone a tool or making sure that what's happening is fair. And we have the Two of Swords. So there is a sense of choice here. There is a sense of, is there a good balance here? Perhaps there is something to do with, is someone being treated fairly? We need to pay attention to that. Now, are you treating the person who's giving you advice fairly? Maybe you were pretty quick to say, hey, no, that's not going to work for me. I want to do it my way. Well, was that a fair treatment? Or were you giving them over the amount of time? Were you openly accepting what they were saying? There's some ways of adjusting to feedback that doesn't necessarily mean you reject it outright or that you accept it wholesale. You can kind of find a middle ground where you go, that might be good feedback. Let's take a look at it. Let's analyze it. Let's think about it. Let's consider it. Doesn't mean wholesale acceptance. Doesn't mean we just bow down and say, sure, that's perfectly fine. No, we can stand up for ourselves. But this is one of those times where we're going to need to integrate the feedback into our experiences and explore it explore it. So middle ground is probably a very good idea here. Okay. So what's going on right now? What's happening right now? So, above, in the mind, in the spirit, in communication, we have communicating values. We have a lot of value communication here. We have Ten of Cups. It seems like whatever's happening with this conversation, we really are trying to express a good outcome. We want something really positive here. We want to work together with somebody. We want to create a family. We want to have a support group. We want to have a network of people that are helping each other. There's many different ways. We want a lover that can create a family. There's all that kind of energy here. We have the happily ever after in the mind. So there is a good outcome here. Some good outcomes are coming. In the heart, we have more, we're still being defensive though. We're protecting our ideas, our vision. And that makes sense because we have the Knight of Pentacles. And this could be how you want to make money. You might be defending how you want to make money, or this could be who you want to spend your time with, or who you want to, spend your time with, give attention to, share your resources with. You're defending it, that feeling. What's going on with you? Okay, we're getting back to pride. You're a really proud person, aren't you, group number 2? You're very proud. You're proud of yourself. You're proud of your friends and family. You're kind of one of those people who really stands up for your crew, stands up for your tribe. You're not going to joke around. You really care about the people that you love. You really do. And you're proud of them. You're proud of how much they've gone through. You're proud of the challenges they faced and how they came through with it. A lot of people are just, you should be proud of just being here now at where you're at in life because you've done so much. You know the challenges that you faced. This advice that was given to you, you might want to integrate some of it, but you also have to stand your ground in some ways. And that really is working out for you. You are proud of yourself. Now, remember, sometimes pride can be extra. Sometimes pride can actually get in the way of growth. So we do need to be mindful of that. But right now, it's good to bask in the sense that you have accomplished quite a bit. There are these accomplishments that have come along the way. And you should be, in a moment of being proud of others' people too. Like being proud of how you handled situations and how you feel that what you're doing is in the best interest of everyone involved. If what you're doing is really because you want to benefit yourself and others so that everybody is in a better positive mindset or a positive situation, then you should be proud of where you come and how much work you've put in. Yeah. And look at this standing your ground feeling. Like there really is. You have the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Really standing your ground. Like not letting someone run over you with their ideas, or with what their perspective is. You are standing up for yourself. You are putting in the effort. You are stating who you are. You have your place at the table of the conversation. You really are someone who can. You have that in you. If you don't feel it right now, you have it in you. You can state what your perspective is, and you know when to leave the situation too. It's a conversation that can be positive and productive, and as long as you move towards that direction, then your defense is absolutely worthwhile. I don't think this is one of those situations where you have to walk away. Because we have on the mind the Ten of Cups. So there's some real growth, real working together energy here. So we're going to work on that. We're going to build from that. All right. So what happens next? What goes on in the future? Or what could go on in the future? This could go in many directions. Okay, so we're feeling the sun. So whatever it is that you did, you stood your ground, you stated your perspective, your opinion, you made it known who you are, what you stand for, well, look at that. You feel the warmth in you. You feel the sun, the happiest card in tarot. Look at this. Beautiful. All right. So good things are happening inside. Good things are happening within you. You're feeling really abundant. There's growth in a spiritual way here. Wow, but there's a shock in the mind. Interesting. So this is a good surprise. This is a very good surprise. Whatever's going on here, you're not going to expect it. You're not going to have any idea of what it could be, but it's going to bring so much warmth and joy to you. This new thing, some new information, or someone's going to come to you and you're never going to have expected it. This is like almost like winning the lottery. I don't want to say that. I don't play the lottery, but it's like that. It's kind of like, feeling like, oh, like you just won, like that kind of energy. I'm not saying that you should do anything specifically. This is something that's just going to come to you. You don't have to do anything. This is just a feeling of a positive thing happens to you in the future. A really positive piece of news happens in the future. It could be just really good news. Really good news. Something good is happening soon. Okay. And what's going on with you when all this is happening? Wow, this is beautiful. Look at this. A fresh new beginning. A fresh new beginning with the sun, with the Ace of Wands. So there's a creative spark happening here with an idea. Some kind of news is coming in that's going to give you such a good push in the right direction. You're going to feel this strength of an idea. There's going to be so much creative drive that comes from this. This is a beautiful stack here, a beautiful column. Something in the future is going to really give you this moment of joyful renewal, moment of joyful refreshing. You're going to start fresh. You're going to know exactly what you want to do, exactly what you want to create. This is going to burst forth really quickly, and it's going to have a lot of energy. This is awesome. Group number 2, this is going to be beautiful. And we were talking about the Ace of Chalices, or the Ace of Cups. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the past, but now we have the Ace of Creativity in the future. So the Ace of Energy, the Ace of Creativity, and the Ace of Emotions, all in this reading. And they're all going to be combining into this real refreshing, jumping start. Like this is a new start. Like this could be you got accepted into a school. This could be you got a news that someone wants to help you out with something that you've always wanted to do. Like maybe you wanted to start a podcast or something like that, or you wanted to create, you wanted to go on a road trip and someone's like, oh, I have exactly what we need to do that. I got a new car. We're going to go across country. Something like that. There's this brand new spark. There's this beautiful start. This is spring energy if I've ever seen it. And it's shocking because you didn't expect the good news to happen, but it's happening. All right. It's going to be like a spark, like a real spark. Okay. So, what's on the mind and where does that lead us in the mind? So, wow, okay. Quite a journey here. We go from the Ace of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, all the way across. So now we have a masculine energy here, someone who can really has command over their resources, knows how to save, knows when to spend, knows where to put the time and effort in. Someone who, oftentimes would be like an accountant or something. But in this case, it's just a masculine knowledge and confidence that you have what you need to manage your resources well. And how do you feel in this situation? Well, we have the Artist. This is an oracle card. So we have the Artist. This is about visualizing your future that you want. This is about not allowing the human distractions to get in the way of creating the world that you feel we all should be living in. You're feeling like really creative here. You might have an artistic project starting soon, or something that requires some creativity, some visualizing of the future. And you're going to be dedicated. You're feeling determined here. And What's going on with you? Hard work. You're working on yourself. This is one of those times where you really are putting in the effort. You really are thinking through the little details because you want to build this home here, and you're building all the little things that you're perfecting. You're perfecting yourself here, or you're perfecting an aspect of yourself. You're realizing what it is that you need, and you're putting in the effort to get it. This is a beautiful reading, group number 2. You really are someone who had pride in the past. You stood your ground, but you also worked with people really well. You now are coming into a moment of real surprise. Real joy is coming in soon. There's something really surprising, but in a great way. One that's going to lead to abundance and happiness. And you're going to be able to manage this abundance beautifully. This is a beautiful reading. So, what is the hidden card, though? What is the hidden card that's going to help us clarify some of this reading here? Well, you chose the Ace of Chalices, but what is the hidden card that you chose as well? Let's take a look. It is Strength. Okay, Strength. You can see the tail wagging. Beautiful. You're a strong person, group number 2. You're a very strong person, and this emotional energy that you have is going to be really reunited, restructured in a way that's going to create an opportunity for you in the future, one that really is going to allow you to manage your resources well and find abundance. Group number 2, this has been your reading. If you enjoyed it, please consider staying around for reading number 3. Remember, each reading can apply to different aspects of life, different pieces of your life. So, with that being said, please leave a comment and let us know, what is this? What are you hoping for? What kind of surprise are you hoping for? Because that might be what's coming your way soon. Great. Okay. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Wheel of Fortune. Let's take a look at it. I love these animated cards. Let's take a look. There we go. You can see the clouds rolling. Sorry, the camera keeps adjusting, but yeah, these are fun animated cards. I really like them. Okay, so today we're going to be starting from the left and move to the right. So from the past to the present to the future. We'll draw 3 to begin with. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Okay. So, what was on the mind in the past? What was on the mind in the past? Let's start from the top. Entrepreneurial spirit. We have the King of Wands. You were really working with what you had. You were thinking about how to courageously fix problems with the limited resources that were available. So this is something where you didn't have much, but you had the courage and you had the confidence that you could actually accomplish your goals with what you had. You could fix the problems with what you had. You could create something new with it. The King of Wands is a very courageous leader. He's somebody who's often works for himself. But if he's in a workforce, he's a leader. He's a leadership position. He's kind of somebody who figures things out on their own and then can bring it to the team and say, hey, look what we found out. Look what we figured out. So a lot of problem solving was in the past, but with a lot of charisma too. In the heart, we had uncertainty because we had the 2 of Pentacles. There was some choice to be made or some instability in some ways. There's some balancing act that needed to happen. So there's a balancing act, but there's a lot of charisma here. I would say this is more charisma than courage. This is, you feel like you know how to solve the problem. You don't know for sure, but you feel like you are capable of it. And it's not courage so much as charisma. That's right, charisma. Having a bit of confidence. So what were you doing in this situation? What are you doing in this situation? Well, you're discussing the end of an idea. There is an end to an idea. This is a big ending here. Perhaps, okay. Interesting. So we have Ten of Swords in your position. So with the Ten of Swords, I mean, it's a big, scary card, right? But it's not that scary. It's actually, because it's the swords, it's about decision making, it's about ideology. So we're moving towards the ending of an idea, something that was a concept or a plan that no longer is happening. But instead we have, in the mind, you still have courage, or you should have charisma, you're confident, and you might be feeling uncertain, but you feel confident that there's a new plan is arising. Something ended, so you don't have as much as you had before. But that's the perfect situation for the King of Wands. The King of Wands thrives in a situation where they create abundance with very little. Okay. So, what's going on with that? Where does that lead us? What is this idea that didn't work out, or that kind of ran its course? There's some idea that ran its course, some plan. It's like, this is it. You stopped working with it. And you're like, I don't have this anymore. But what I do have is some choices. There are some choices available. It may seem a little unsteady right here, though. This is kind of unsteady. You feel like perhaps this is a little bit of a fake it till you make it situation, where you're kind of trying really hard to pretend like everything's all right. You're communicating, hey, I got this. But deep down, you're not quite so sure. Because this is more the communication, how other people see you. Here is where is within, what you're feeling within. Move to a little bit of heartbreak. Okay, so in the past, there was a heartbreak moment. It could be that this path that you wanted was no longer going in the direction you wanted. Perhaps something wasn't working out, because we have this diagonal up. So we have a diagonal up from the Ten of Swords to the Three of Swords. So a disappointment, a heartbreak that something isn't working out. That there needs to be a separation, or a cancellation, or a finality to something. Something needs to end. And that's not fun to deal with. You know, you might have put on a brave face in the past. You were putting on a brave face, but then it came to a point where you had to reveal that you were heartbroken. You know, this is one of those finally letting go. And just revealing it. But inside you were strong. You know, actually, this is one of those situations where you were uncertain when you were putting on something of a face that wasn't in balance with everything else that was happening. But here you're revealing the truth, the heartbreak of the situation. You really are disappointed that this aspect of the self had to end. This situation didn't go the way you planned it. But now you're strong because you're revealing. You're actually revealing to whoever it is. You're communicating the heartbreak. And that could mean that you're actually communicating with people who also feel the same way. You're bonding with people who feel strongly and sad. Like there's this sadness, but there's shared sadness, something that everyone's working towards. And this happened in the past. Okay. But you're very strong. We have strength within. You know, this is a beautiful card. You can see that the lion's tamed. That strength to tame the lion within. Those emotional situations where, you know, being open and honest might have been very scary. But you were able to do it. You were able to be authentically yourself. And that's important. So what was happening? You were kind of just looking around. You know, this was a situation where what's next is kind of a question. But you're admitting that you're sad about the past. You're sad about what happened. You're kind of saying, I don't know what's next. I don't know. You know, but you're surveying your land. You're surveying your opportunities or your potential. You're looking out for what could happen next. This is this is a moment of kind of letting, like, accepting, letting things happen. The uncertainty of the situation. I'm not surprised if there was a shock right before this. Some kind of shock that made you realize that certain directions weren't happening. But now we're moving into being our authentic self, expressing what it is that we need to express. However that's going to be received by anybody else, however anybody's going to see it, it doesn't matter. You're being your authentic self. And that's important. You want to be your authentic self. And you need to express yourself authentically here, because that's a point of healing. There is going to be an opportunity for healing here. The Three of Swords is always an opportunity for healing. Let's see what happens. So where are we now? Where are we now? What's going on now? You were looking around, you've been expressing yourself in a real way. Truly sharing how you feel. And then how do you feel inside now? You feel like you can accomplish a lot more now. We have the Magician. The Magician is that beautiful card of manifestation. You can't see it here. There is the pentacle here in the cup. But normally, here we go. We have the sword, and there should be a wand somewhere. There should be a wand somewhere here. Because the Magician has all four of the suits. In the more traditional design of the card, we have the Magician here. You can see the Magician has the cup, has the sword, has the wand, and the pentacle. All four tools needed to accomplish their goal. To create the vision that they want in the world. Master manifesting. So you're feeling ready to create the world you need. How are you expressing yourself? How are you feeling or thinking? How are you thinking? You're not expressing yourself quite as openly as you were in the past, but that's okay. This is more honest, subdued communication. Or honest, limited communication. You are keeping yourself, protected in some ways. You opened yourself up in the past, and now you're kind of protecting yourself. You're keeping some things hidden. There are some unknowns here. And it might be unknowns from yourself, but most of this is more like communicating with others and the communal connection. There's a mystery here. And you might be seemingly a little bit more mysterious to others right now. Or maybe not mysterious, but people are kind of wondering, well, how are you doing? They're not exactly sure. They aren't sure. But how are you doing? What's going on with you? Like, what are you doing in this situation? You're feeling like you can accomplish. You're communicating a little bit more, the term cryptically, kind of like in code. If someone asks you how you're doing, you're like, yeah, it's kind of like, it's going is kind of the expression when you're being honest. You're not saying it's great. You're not saying, oh, great. You're just saying, it's going. How's it going? It's going. Well, no one really knows what that means. Well, is it good, bad? It's like, well, you're not sure. It doesn't sound like good, but you're not openly admitting if it's bad. So you're kind of keeping things a little bit more within, a little withheld. Okay. So you're looking back at this situation because the Seven of Swords in this deck looks backwards. You might be thinking about how certain things that happened were not fair. This is the Seven of Swords is a complicated card. There's a history to it. There's a parable where the figure here is actually taking the swords from both parties. There's two different warring factions. There's two different armies, and this figure goes into the camps of each army and steals all the swords, forcing both of the armies to actually meet in the middle and communicate with each other and actually negotiate rather than go fight. It's kind of a removal of the claws kind of situation. But it's also a situation of fairness and unfairness. Some form of unfairness happened in the past, and there's a feeling of it being unjust. Or it could be borrowing of ideas. There's many meanings to this. But in this reading, I would see it's more like looking back. and seeing this 10 of swords and saying, and the feeling that you felt, and saying, that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair. You know, that's the kind of feeling you get with the 7 of swords. And maybe that's something you just don't want to communicate with others right now. You don't want to, you know that, life isn't fair. Sometimes things don't work out the way we want it. And you don't want to complain, so you're just kind of keeping it in right now, perhaps. Let's see, what happens next? I mean, what was this moment? I feel like the tower was back there. There was a tower back there. And now you're kind of feeling like you can accomplish what you need, but man, it would have worked out differently if something, you're working through things. Maybe if this in the past, if this had just been more, I don't know, something about it is leaving you feeling just left out a little bit, like it wasn't fair. Like it just isn't fair. Like you'll move on, you can continue to keep going, but you're just not feeling great about it. Okay. So what happens in the future? We have the 8 of Cups. Okay. So we're going to start to move on. We're going to start to move towards better days. We have a dream. There was accomplishments in the past. We know we put in work, but now we need to choose to continue forward and to go into the unknown, to go around that path, that mountain path, and go around the bend where we don't know what's going to take, where it's going to lead us, but we need to keep moving forward. And we know that in our mind, we can think about it clearly, that it's just, we know this is something we have to do. And it's leading to renewal of nurturing, because we have the Queen of Cups, intuitive nurturing, the ability to intuit what to do next, but also really feeling that emotional connection with others, of allowing ourselves to open ourselves up again, to feel that flow of connection that can sometimes be cut off if we're defensive and we don't want to share ourselves, our authentic selves. But now we're feeling better. We're feeling that flowing nature. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the star. There's some serenity with the Queen of Cups. There's a feeling of just well-being. Hey, there is goodness here. There is a place we can sit and feel wellness. We can feel growth. All right. What are you doing in this situation? Hey, I said growth, right? You're regrowing. We have the 7 of Pentacles. The farmer's planted his crops and he's watching it slowly grow. We don't want to, it's not a watch pot, never boil situation. It's looking to see, well, does this work? Let's trim it here. Does watering work now or during the nighttime? Should we water during the day or night? Which one seems to work better? Should we give it food? Should we give it nutrients? Some sort of fertilizer? What are we doing here? We're growing ourselves. We're regrowing a situation. We're regrowing. We're relearning how to move in a certain direction. So with the water of the Queen of Cups, we're watering the plants of the 7 of Pentacles. This is from an emotional coming upwards. We're emotionally growing again. We're emotionally healing. And we're moving on thoughtfully. Very thoughtfully. Thinking it through. This was a tough situation in the past. Group number 3. This was tough. And it was fair to feel everything that you felt. Don't feel bad about how you felt. That's one thing that's important. Feel good or maybe not feel good, but know that every reaction you had was a natural one and that you were working through it. And now we're going towards growth of looking towards the future. We're looking towards the future again with that 7 of Pentacles. We're looking towards the future again with that 8 of Cups. Yeah, the unknown is, the future is uncertain, but we're moving towards it. And it's good to focus on that, to believe that we can make that better. If we work a little harder, if we work on ourselves, we're going to find a bright future for ourselves. Really bright. So how are you feeling in the future? Where's this lead? Okay, we have the Devil card, which is interesting. It's an interesting card to see here. Let's see what else we got. In the mind, we have the Four of Swords. Okay, so resting. Resting is good. But there might be some habits that we need to remind ourselves to avoid. You might feel like, some things are going well, so you can kind of let some things slack. But in this case, it might be a situation where we want to remind ourselves to keep moving forward with some discipline. Because yes, this was a tough time, but actually, we are going to move forward. And to slide back into old habits is really not going to support us in the long run. It's not going to support us in the long run. What we want is the new habits. And that's something to do with slacking here, or we want discipline here. What do you do? What are you doing? So this could be just a feeling like you want to fall back into old habits, right? But what we have is new. We have new habits forming. You're not going to allow that to happen. We have the Ace here. We have Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. A new way of giving yourself that energy. A new way of giving yourself motivation. Not through the old habits, but through the new habits. Through the new ways of being. That's beautiful. Okay. Group number 3, you were hoping for real fortune here because something was tough. You picked the Wheel of Fortune because you were saying, hey, I want something good to happen here, right? You're hoping for good fortune. Well, the good fortune comes from within. You're giving yourself opportunities for good fortune by avoiding the pitfalls, by finding serenity within, by finding peace within. Now we have this final card here, the Unknown card. What is this hidden card that will hopefully add some clarity to the rest of the reading? Let's take a look. It is the Two of Chalices, or the Two of Cups. Well, this is one of those times where it's find someone who really pairs with you well. Find that partnership that works perfectly for you. Or not, it's never perfect, but that connects with you on a healing journey where both people are working hard together to find growth. If both of you are working towards growth, then you are in good shape. You are really in good shape. Find those friends. Find those loved ones, like the family could be a partner. Find somebody that you really can be like your best, most authentic self with. And that will lead towards the positive energy, the Ace of Pentacles that you really are going to embody. That new, fresh option for energy, new source of energy. Something that really reinvigorates you. That's what's happening here. Soon, you're going to find this way where that when you just didn't think you could keep going, now you can, because there's something that lights that spark in you. There's something that gives you that feeling of energy, that discipline that you can keep going. You're seeing growth and you're moving forward. Step by step, you got this. You really do. Group number 3. This has been your reading. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the reading, and leave a comment and let us know how you're doing. I want to hear how you're growing from this less ideal situation, or this tough situation in the past. Let us know. I'd love to hear it. Okay. With that being said, take care.